Hello. Welcome back to another Sunday School Bible class. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are on a lesson entitled Jesus Chooses 12 Apostles and Heals Leprosy and Palsy. We have been learning about the many miracles Jesus did in healing many people from different types of illnesses and disabilities, and how the religious leaders, although they saw these miracles with their own eyes, still would not believe Jesus was the Son of God, and were so mean they actually accused Jesus of breaking the Sabbath commandment and wanted to have him killed. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about a terrible disease called leprosy, which was like a serious skin disease that would cause a person to lose their fingers and toes and cause terrible sores all over a person's body. A person who had this disease of leprosy was called a leper. This disease was greatly feared by people because it was also thought to be contagious. That is, if a person who was a leper came near anyone who was not a leper, they could also catch the disease so that they would become a leper as well. Under the law of Moses, lepers were forbidden to go near anyone. In fact, if they saw anyone coming near them, they were supposed to yell out, "Unclean! Unclean!" so that no one would make the mistake of going near them. They were very lonely people, and they suffered very much and were very sad because no one wanted to be near them. One day there was a man who had leprosy, but he heard that Jesus could perform miracles and believed Jesus could heal him. The man came to Jesus and said, "Lord, if you will, you can make me well." Jesus said to the man, "I will. Be clean." And immediately the man was cured of his leprosy and went everywhere telling everyone that Jesus healed him from leprosy. Many days later, as the news spread about Jesus healing leprosy, 10 men who were lepers came to Jesus and begged Jesus to heal them. Jesus told them to go and show themselves to the priests, as was commanded by the law of Moses. When they obeyed Jesus and started on their way to the priests, they were healed of their leprosy. One of them came back to Jesus and worshiped and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus said, "Were there not 10 that were cleansed? But where are the 9? There were not found but just this one Samaritan who returned to give glory to God." Then Jesus looked at the man and said, "Arise, your faith has made you well." Thousands and thousands of people came from all different countries to be healed of Jesus, and he healed all of them. So many, in fact, that one of the disciples or apostles wrote in the Bible that Jesus performed so many miracles that they could not possibly be contained in the books of that day. However, Jesus didn't just do miracles, he also taught these people. Jesus taught on hillsides, in valleys, sometimes from a boat, and in many different places outside, because no building could hold all the people who were coming to him. In future Sunday school lessons, we will learn and study his teachings. Eventually, as the day ended and the people went home, Jesus went up into a small mountain and prayed all night. When the morning was come, Jesus called his disciples and chose 12 disciples who he named apostles. These would be with Jesus all the time. These are the names of the 12 apostles: Simon, who Jesus named Peter; Andrew his brother; James and his brother John; Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, and James the son of Alphaeus, and Thaddeus, and Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who would someday betray Jesus. These are the 12 apostles. Jesus continued to help all people who had faith in him, even if they were Roman soldiers. Remember, the Romans were in control of the Jewish people, so that the Jewish people had to obey the Romans and pay the Romans money in the form of taxes, or the Romans would kill the Jewish people in a very painful way called crucifixion, which we will learn about in upcoming lessons. Most of the Jewish people hated the Romans. The Romans were pagans, which meant they believed in those idol gods. There were many Roman soldiers throughout the land of Israel to keep order and make sure the Jewish people obeyed the Roman laws. A Roman centurion was like a captain of 100 Roman soldiers. He was a man of great authority and would command his soldiers, and many of the Jewish people would fear them, the centurions. But there was one Roman centurion who was a good man and was very kind to the Jewish people and to his own servants. This Roman centurion had a servant with a very painful condition known in the Bible as palsy. Sometimes this would cause a person to be unable to move part of his body, like his legs or his arms. It was very painful. This Roman centurion's servant was so sick with this disease that he was almost ready to die. The Roman centurion felt sorry for his servant and came to Jesus, begging him to heal his servant. He said to Jesus, "Lord, I am not worthy," which means I'm not even good enough for you, "that you should come to my house. But speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man of authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, 'Go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes, and to my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and told all them that followed him, "Truly, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. I tell you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven." Then Jesus said to the Roman centurion, "Go your way, and as you have believed, so be it unto you." Then the Roman centurion returned home and found the servant healed the same hour. In our next lesson, we will learn how Jesus not only had power over sickness, but also he had power over death and nature as well. It will be a very interesting lesson. You don't want to miss our next lesson. See you next time. Bye-bye.